Hello, hi, and welcome. This is Mandla Mkhwebane, and you are on the right show. This is Moments of Inspiration, a show where we learn, where we act on what we have learned, and helping us to prevail in life and to succeed in whatever that you do. Thank you so much for joining me today. We are continuing on the subject of purpose. Thank you for all the feedback and all the comments, all the likes. Everyone that has watched, even if you've watched for 1 minute, really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I hope that you can stay with it, because as we build up this platform of Moments of Inspiration, you will see that will begin to unlock a lot of things around success and how you as a person can succeed, and that success, it's actually up to you, and you cannot blame anyone for where you are, but you can rise up and you can stand up and be everything that you were intended to be everything that you were created to be. One of those things that you need to understand and to know about, it's around purpose. And Sevik today is joining me later in part 2 of this show, where we'll be talking and discussing about purpose, and we'll also be doing a Q&A. I've received some questions and I've received some concerns, and we'll be addressing those and what purpose actually means. So thank you. Sit down, get your coffee, and let's just talk. Let's converse, and let's do what we need to do to understand what purpose is. One of the things that you need to realize about purpose is that purpose, it's actually a gift that you come to bring to humanity. When you are born, you come bearing a gift, and that gift is called purpose. A lot of people have been asking, and they spend 40 years, they spend 60 years asking and try to understand, how do I discover my purpose? How do I know that I am in my purpose? And I want to say to you that as I was preparing for this talk today, one word that came very strongly to me, and one word that really summarizes how I can explain how you find and you discover your purpose, is the word, wait for it, attention. Is the word attention. The reason why I say this word summarizes is because purpose, actually, it's so second nature to you that sometimes you can miss it. Purpose, it's you, and you are purpose. I think something about that statement triggered some people, that you are actually a walking purpose, and the only thing that you need to do is to really manifest. But you see, purpose, because it's so much a part of you, there are glimpses of it, or there are things that about it that are coming out even without you being aware. So today, if I can achieve anything, it's just to help you to pay more attention to the things that of who you are, to how you are built, because that is how then you will start the journey of how to discover your purpose. A lot of people think that discovering your purpose, it's this mystery. There needs to be a thunder, there needs to be lightning, there needs to be something miraculous, there needs to be extravagance, something, a voice needs to echo and say, this is your. But that is not how purpose works, because purpose, it's part of you. It's in you. It should actually be intuitively coming out of you. It's something that needs to be coming out of you without you even trying hard. You know why? Because a fish swims. A fish doesn't struggle and figuring out for 10 years, how am I going to do this? How am I going to swim? It just swims. So the only thing that you need really is to pay attention to who you are, how you are built, and how you are, so that the subtotal of all those things, they start to manifest your purpose. Purpose is in born, it should ooze out of you. It's something that needs to ooze out of you. You know, when you have a toothpaste and you squeeze it out, the toothpaste inside, you know, when you squeeze out the packaging, the toothpaste inside, it comes out. You know, it doesn't have to try. Why? Because it's inside. So in the very same way, purpose, it's something that it's inside. It's not far. And if you're looking for purpose in something or in someone, in your friend, in your girlfriend, in your boyfriend, in your partner, in your fiance, in your wife, you know, you are looking at the wrong places. You are looking for mahala. You are not going to find purpose. The purpose, it's in you, and only you can dig it out. Only you can dig it out and just make it come out. Purpose, was never designed to be a mystery. Purpose was never designed to be something that it's so difficult to find. You have to strive, and you have to. Yes, I believe that praying, for example, it's one of those things. But you know why? Prayer and meditation, the only reason why prayer and meditation, not one of the only reasons why prayer and meditation are so key in discovering your purpose, is because when you are doing those things, you become still, and they have to do with attention. In other words, you become still and you begin to look inside you. You begin to have a view inside you, because the things that are happening outside, they can interrupt you and disrupt you and make you miss your purpose, because you are supposed to look inside you. That is why meditation and sitting still, it's and thinking and just processing and looking deep and try to understand who you are, listening, paying attention to the vibes inside of you. Those are some of the things that help you for your purpose. But if you're always making noise, you're always, you know, in a hurry, you're not paying attention, you're just in this rat race, you're moving from one thing to the next, you don't have time to sit still, you don't have time to think, you don't have time to process, you don't have time to really look around you and to look inside you and try to understand what is happening. This is where you miss your purpose. So as I go into these tips on how you discover your purpose, just pay attention. Attention is your servant. Attention, it's the key to how your purpose will become clearer to you, and you will see as I go through this. Okay, so let's start with tips on how you can discover your purpose. A lot of people have really been talking about, so what I'm going to share to you, it's actually nothing new. I think a lot of people have given advice. If you go even on the internet, you read books around purpose, a lot of people in one way or the other, they bring out these points and these tips. But today, I want you to look at them a little bit differently. I want you to look at them with the lens of paying attention, with a lens of how maybe I have missed, you know, this thing that it's so close to me. How I might have missed this thing that I should have actually gotten. You know, if you look at an example, for example, of a Moses, you know, and when he was seeing a burning bush, if you believe in the Bible, when he was seeing the burning bush, you know, the voice said, "Moses, what do you have in your hand?" You know, Moses, for 40 years, he was a shepherd. He had this rod, this shepherd's rod. But that day, attention was drawn to that rod. Attention was drawn to this rod, to say that this thing that you were taking for granted, the ability to speak that you're taking for granted, every time you are the one that it's called, at family functions to speak, and you are saying, hey, Bampora, or why Bachuzana every time. But those are some of the things that would give you, should draw attention to you for you to understand that perhaps there is something in this thing. You know, the things that seem to come so naturally to you, they might not be coming so natural to other people, but for you, they are so natural to an extent that you even miss it. You know, to an extent that you even think about driving a car. Think about driving a car. Yes, we had to learn to drive a car. I had to learn. I struggled. I got my license when I was 25 years because I was struggling, you know, with driving. It's not something that came naturally to me, and I was afraid. Yes, I was afraid to even drive. But now, years later, I am driving. You wouldn't even, when you look at me, you wouldn't even think that, oh, this is the guy that was that only started driving in his 20s. You wouldn't even tell that this is the guy that didn't want to go out in the street. Why? Because I don't even think about it. It's so much in me that it just comes out of me. So in the same way, I want to encourage you that these tips, they have to do with attention. So I want you to go back and if you are in a place where you have a notebook, as I talk, I want you to maybe even start jotting down things that come to your mind as I speak. If you are driving or you're listening to this, maybe you are jogging or whatever that you are doing, listen to it again, but listen with a notebook and start jotting down things as I speak, because I'm gonna ask you to dig deep. I'm gonna ask you to look back. I'm gonna ask you to think about the things that have been happening that they were so easy or they were so missable that I want you to dig. So number one, let's talk about the tips. What are your strongest desires and interests? We are different. We've got different desires as people. There are things that interest you. There are things that do not interest you. Purpose will always have to do with things that interests you and the desires that are very close to you and to your heart. You are not going to have a purpose that is divorced from the things that are interesting to you. What are the things that interest you? What are the things that draw you? What are the things that you like? Things that you like reading about, things that you like talking about, things that you like conversing about, things that you are always thinking about. Even when you are passing or the side of your eye catches that thing that interests you, you always stop. Why? Because deep is calling unto deep. The things that are in you, they are being called, they're drawing you in, because what you are seeing, it mirrors what is happening on the inside of you. And because it mirrors what is happening on the inside of you, your mind and your heart have no choice but to respond. So you are responding to the things that are on the inside of you when you start to see them outside, when you start to think about them, and when you're starting to process them. So number one, what are those things that you are deeply interested in? What are those things that you have a deep desire for? That is one of the tips that will give you a very clear proof of kind of like, and as I join these things, it's going to be a little bit of a jigsaw, and that's why I'm asking you to take down notes, because as I speak about this and that, and we begin to join them, you'll begin to see a picture forming. You might, after this show, you might not have a full picture, but that's fine, because purpose also unfolds, but you'll begin to start, to pay a little bit more attention as you go on, and you'll begin to form a nice picture that will take you to the next level of discovery. Number 2, tips on how you can find your purpose, on how you can actually discover your purpose. Tip number 2, what makes you the most upset? What makes you the most upset? Yes, I said what makes you the most upset. One of the things about purpose, and I said last time that purpose has very little, yes, you are the one that is fulfilling the purpose, but it has very little to do with you on your own, but very much to do with everything else happening on the outside. That's why purpose, it's about helping humanity. It's about bringing a gift to humanity that is going to make this world a better place, that is going to leave this place better than how you find it. So purpose then has in it the need to solve and to come up with solutions and to add value and to solve issues and problems and to make things better. So purpose, the things that will make you upset, and I'm not talking about I'm upset like, oh, it's making me upset, and then you go on Twitter and tweet about it. It's this obsession almost to say that, what can I do? This situation cannot remain like this forever. Yes, I know that you cannot solve the world's problems. I think everyone knows that on your own you cannot solve the world's problems, but you can do something that will make this world a better place. And that is one of the things that has discouraged people, because when they look at the things that upset them and the things that they want to do something about, they are so huge sometimes and they are so majestic that when you look at yourself, you're like, little old me, what can I do? But purpose, like I said, unfolds. So I want to say to you that the things that make you upset, start where you are. Those are the things that give you clue to what you came to this world to do. And the things that make you upset are so, it's someone else or people, they can look at the same problem or issues or challenges and not feel anything, or just have a general sense of being upset, or a general sense of, oh, it's not right. But for you, it's not, it's an obsession. It's something that when you look at, you're like, I have to do something. You're like, I have to make a change. You're like, I have to make something happen. I have to solve this. That is a big clue to what your purpose is. The things that make you upset to a level of wanting to take an action, to a level of wanting to do something about it, not just a surface, sadness, but it's something deeper. Why? Because it is something deep down on the inside of you, something within you that is being pulled towards solving that particular issue or solving that particular matter. So I want to say to you that pay attention to the things that make you upset, and what you will see is that you'll begin to see a theme forming. So next time something really, grinds or rubs you the wrong way, just Pay attention, start writing things down. That's why, a lot of people, they talk about journaling, because when you journal and you begin to write things, you begin to see, and you begin to see. Yes, I've got lots of books. I don't necessarily, in the purest sense of the word, journal, but what I do is that the things that come to my mind, the things that I believe are big, revelations, or something that it's a great idea, or something that is close to me, I do write it down. And I've got books. I think I've got over 10 books where I've been writing down my thoughts over years. And when I go back and I look at them, I can see a theme. So it's important for you to start journaling, to start writing down things, because sometimes an idea comes and you cannot remember exactly. So it's important for you to write down so that you can remember. In the same vein, the things that make you upset, they kind of like motivate and push you, and they activate you to act. Number 3, what are the things that excite you, turn you on in the right way? What are the things that turn you on? So you can be turned on in a negative way, and it moves you to take action, to change, to make the negative positive. But there's also things that turn you on, and those are the things that excite you. Those are the things that you can talk about, the whole night. The things that excite you, that you don't mind, talking about them the whole night. You talk about them to your friends. When you wake up, you talk about them. When you are at lunch with people, you talk about them. They just come out of you. That is a big clue as to what are the things that you need to pay close attention to, because purpose will excite you. Purpose will draw you in. You find yourself just walking on this path, and you don't know why. So the only thing that is left really is to act on it, because you can see this path, but you talk about it, you're excited. A lot of you have been talking about, for example, forming a business. It doesn't leave you. It's something that it's always there. It's something that, no matter what you do, if you are alone, even if you don't talk about it to other people, but when you are alone, you think about it all the time. You process it all the time. You talk about it all the time. You are even dreaming about it. Those are the things that have to do with purpose. So number 3, the things that are exciting to you, the things that you can talk about the whole night, you don't even mind, the things that you can read about the whole night, the things that you can listen to the whole night, the things that really, they make you happy, they make you excited, they make you come alive. Purpose will make you come alive. That is a big clue as to what that purpose is. It makes you come alive, it makes you excited, it makes you happy. Number 4, let's move a little bit faster. I get so passionate about talking about this topic that I even forget to check time. You know why? Because I love this. I love this. You might have your own views and you say, oh, he's not a great speaker. Oh, look at him. I don't care, because this is something that fulfills me. That's why I can talk and talk and talk, because it's something that is a part of me. So let's go to number 4. What are the things that come out of you without too much struggle? What are the things that come out of you without too much struggle? That is a big clue. If you are struggling with things and to make it happen, there might be something wrong. And I know people that are pursuing something for 10 years, for 20 years, pursuing something, but you can see that these people are struggling. You can see that these people, it's actually not coming out. So purpose when you are operating in your purpose, whatever that you do, it comes out of you without struggle. So pay attention to those things that you can do without too much struggle. To other people, they might struggle. They might even have to go to school. They might even have to be a coach, have a coach to train them. But having a coach and having mentors, it's great. They sharpen you, and education, they sharpen you. Remember that. But I'm talking about, we talk about diamond in the rough. The diamond is already there. The coach and the mentor and the books and the podcasts and the YouTube and all of these things, they just polish it up. But you cannot polish something that is not there. You cannot polish something that does not exist. So the diamond is already there. The potential is already there. But it's coming out of you without a struggle. So that is number 4. What are the things that come out of you without a struggle? Number 5, what do you excel in and get results? What are the things that when you do them, you excel and you get results? Does it mean you won't fail in your path to purpose? No, it doesn't mean that you won't fail. But what I'm saying is, there are things that when you do them, you always get results. There's always some positive things that are coming out of that, and you are able to get results. You are able to make these things happen. Yes, there might be some challenges, there might be some some struggle here and there, but you and failure even. But when you do these things, after all is said and done, you can look at them and you've actually gotten results. What are those things that when you do them, you just get results? You excel. That is something, and like I said to you, that it could be something so small, it could be something so easy. Maybe it could be as easy as when you talk to people on a one-to-one, you connect. You are able to get results. You are able to get things out of people. People are able to open up to you, and you think to yourself that, oh, it's natural. It's that's me. It's rebiako high. Si so endlini. Mkhwebane vele sikwazi ukukhuluma nabantu. No, it's not like that. Though that is a clue of what actually it leads to a path to your purpose. It's those things that are coming out, those things that you are getting results out of, and where other people are struggling, where other people have to learn, other people have to be coached for hundreds of hours. For you, it's just coming out of you, almost natural. It's so natural sometimes that you miss it. It's so natural sometimes that you don't even think about it. You just think that it's just me. And yes, you are right. It's just you, because, like I said, you are purpose and purpose is you. Therefore, you is coming out and you is manifesting. Where and how your purpose is. So it's important for you to pay close attention to that, because those are the things that are going to lead you towards a path to purpose. Number 6, what are your closest and intimate friends and associates say about you? What are the things that your closest friends, your circle of friends, are saying about you? A lot of us have got friends, have got associates. I'm not talking about people that are acquaintances, so you want to be friends with. I'm talking about people that have known you for years, people that have your best interest at heart, and they will tell you, pay attention to the things that you are always getting compliments about. Pay attention to the things that people are always praising you about. And sometimes you brush it off and you say, it doesn't mean anything. But that is a clue. And the reason why they are saying those things is because not everyone has got those qualities. Not everyone is manifesting those qualities. So are people saying to you, oh, you're so good with kids? I'm good with kids. I'm sure 9 out of 10 people listening here are kind of like good with kids. But there is that special good, there is that special good that deserves to be called out. And people will call it out and say, look, a lot of us are good with kids when a kid, but there is something about kids that kind of like special, something that you cannot find with any other person. But you are people saying those type of things. Oh, you have a brilliant mind. Oh, you have a brilliant business mind. Oh, you are so good with maths, with how you think, with how you solve problems. I can guarantee you that a lot of people are good with maths. Not everyone, of course, but there is a special good with maths that deserves to be called out. And people will call you out. Oh, you are so patient with people. People watch you when you interact with people. Oh, you are so patient with people. Oh, you are so good with solving problems. You are so good with how you see, problems. When your circle of friends have got problems and have got issues, you are the person that they come to. You are the person that they speak to. They confide in you. You know why? Because they have seen that there is something in you that is special. So what are your closest and intimate friends saying to you? What are you good at? Number 7, and I challenge you that take out a notebook, think. I'm going to ask you to think, pay attention. So this is one that is going to require you to think. Number 7, tips on how you can discover your purpose. Think back to when you were a kid. I love kids. I've got, at this stage when this is recorded, I've got 3 of them, very lovely. I've got a 7-year-old, I've got a 5-year-old, and I've got a 2-year-old. They are so carefree. They don't care. They are manifesting who they are. You can try, you can shout, you can do whatever that you want to do. They don't care. They are just manifesting. And even if you stop them in one instance, 2 minutes later, if someone is gifted, for a kid is gifted with music, you can say, hey, we are Rasawen. But 2 minutes later, they'll be singing. Why? Because it's something that is in them. They are just going out there having fun. Think about when you were a kid. What are the things that you loved doing? How were you as a kid? What were the things that you were always doing, things that you were always interested in before life interrupted you? Before life put a stop to it, before life put restrictions to you, before life said, oh, you cannot do that, oh, you cannot be that. What are the things that as a kid you loved doing, you loved manifesting? For example, with me as a kid, one of the things that I knew that I was a born leader, one of the things that I knew that I was a leader was because even as a kid, and I'm talking about when I was in kindergarten or crèche or preschool, whatever you call it, I would be in charge of groups. I would be, even though I have no clue about dancing, I have no clue about acting, even when there was a sketch or a role, I would be the lead. Even though I was very quiet and shy and introverted, I'll always be in charge. People will always see something in me and say, you know what, this person is a leader, and I'll be in charge. And I look at how that developed and progressed in primary school, in high school, even in varsity, even after varsity. At church, because I'm involved a lot with church, even when I try to hide and I try to say, no, I don't want to be involved. Number one, I cannot not be involved because something pushes me to be involved. And I end up leading, even though I don't want to lead, or I feel that, no, let me take a break. Something just pushes me to lead. And if even if nothing pushes you, but people look at me and say, no, do this, take care of that, take charge. And it's how it is. It's how it's always been all my life. But I can trace it from the time when I was 2, 3, 4, 5 years old. So pay close attention to the things that were manifesting even when you were a kid. And some of you, I know that light has been dimmed, but I'm challenging you. Think about it. Think about it. Think about who and how you were even as a kid. Number 8, I'm not even sure what number I'm in. Who do you look up to and admire? You know, like I said, our purpose, it's deep calling unto deep. When you see, and I know that, you know, it might not be a perfect picture, a perfect mirror, but when you see someone manifesting their purpose and it's very closely linked to you, there is something in you that draws you to them. And there's an admiration. Who do you admire? Or maybe not a person, the kind of people that you admire, and you are like, I want to be like that person. And you know why? Because you are seeing yourself in those people. Like I said, no one can manifest the purpose that you have exactly the way that you can, but there are glimpses and there are pockets of things that people can manifest that resonate with who you are, and that speaks to who you are on the inside of you. There is something on the inside of you that kind of like connects with those people. So pay close attention to the kind of, look over the years, the kind of people that have always interested you, the kind of people that you've always been drawn to, the kind of leaders that have been drawn to, the kind of, even, I dare to say, even celebrities that have been, and I'm not talking about people that you are drawn to because they are famous, because they've got money, because they've got a car, they've got this, they've got that. I'm talking about the things that they're doing, the way that they are changing the world, the way that they're influencing the world. Those are the things that will give you a clue. It's much deeper than, oh, I love Beyonce. It's much deeper than, oh, I love Queen Bee. It's much deeper than that. It's something that they are doing, something that they are manifesting, that is kind of like drawing you to them. Number 9, what are the things, and this one is a clincher, what are the things, and this is the last one, what are the things that you can do without getting paid? What are the things that even if you are not getting paid, you will do them? Even if no one is promising you that, oh, here's $1 million, or you cannot see how this thing is going to manifest in money. You are, one of the things that has messed us up and continues to mess us up even today, and now it's even a trend, is how do I monetize things? Monetization has caused a lot of gifts, talents, and purposes to be interrupted, to be stillborn, and to be killed. Why? Because everything, you are looking at everything through the lens of money and through the lens of finances. What can I get out of it? What money am I gonna get out of it? What, purpose, it's about adding value. So get your head out of the money gutter and start thinking about what is it, if there was no money for you, and there was no payment, what is it that you will still do? Because if you are chasing after money all the time, you will miss your purpose. But I want to say to you that without you even trying, once you come into your purpose and you begin to sharpen your gifts and talents and you excel, guess what? There will always be someone that is willing to pay you. Money should not be the leader, but purpose should be what leads you. I'll see you on the other side when I speak to Sevik and we tackle some of your questions and answers.
Offering the fruits of our lips to the Almighty, the best in gospel music, Zoe Live Radio, the abundant life experience. Give a shout and praise. Zoe Live Radio, the abundant life experience.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Moments of Inspiration with I'm with Sevik here, Victor Seshoka, and we continue to speak about purpose. How do you find your purpose? Hi Sevik, how are you?
I'm fine, and how are you? And also, let me take this moment and greet the viewers and the listeners also.
Awesome, thank you so much. For those who missed the last episode, Victor Seshoka is the founder and CEO of Hatelopili Education Foundation, and they've got a big dream of educating 1 million African children. So that is the vision, and that's the space that he plays at. I'm not even going to waste a lot of time because we have actually decided just now, just off air, that we're going to do a part 3 because this topic is so packed. So Victor, help me out a little bit here. So today we are focusing on finding, your purpose, how you find your purpose, and I was giving tips on how you find your purpose. But I want to hear from you first-hand experience because you're a man who's really living this, in real life. How did you find your purpose and when? How did it happen?
Thank you very much for this opportunity. I believe that each one of us have got different or peculiar ways how we can find our purpose. And one of the things is that sometimes purpose is found through pain. As other people will say, that purpose is discovered through pain. One of the things that I always tell people is that something that bothers you a lot, when you check around your life, you find that this thing that every time when you look at it, it irritates you, it bothers you a lot, you may discover that is actually your purpose, what you are called to do, what you are called to solve, or what you are called to bring solution to. And for me, I would say that, I discovered my purpose when, I think I was in my early 20s, when I began to check around things that were bothering me, especially in relation to young people in rural areas. I was access to tertiary education. For me, I was actually having this problem of thinking, why are these young people having to go through challenges or go through these hurdles to be able to access tertiary education? And as someone who's from the villages myself, I thought I can be able to be in a position to bring solution to. And that's when I actually discovered my purpose, that my purpose is to empower young people. And that is one thing that when I discovered my purpose, I thought, I'm not going to just sit and do nothing about it, but I must be able to be in a position to go out there and fulfill it. And that's what I've actually, as a person, have discovered. And I believe that each one of us, that's why there's a emotion that I like. It says each one of us must discover their mission, either to fulfill it or to betray it. So it's very critical for us to discover our mission or to discover our purpose and not to betray it, but to fulfill it.
Wow, awesome. Wow. What an explanation. Well, Sevik, when I was explaining about, and I know you're not listening to this, I spoke about the things that are bothering you. I spoke about the things that you things that they don't allow you to sleep at night. And you are saying that looking at the situation, looking at the plight of the African child in rural villages, it really touched you and bothered you. So I guess the question that I would have there is that what then did you do? Like, because the plight of the African child can bother you, but there were so many other things that you could have done. You could have done, you know, I don't know, maybe you could have opened a bursary scheme, or maybe you could have spoken to the Department of Education and asked them to do something. Why did you take the route that you took in terms of helping out the African child, as you put it?
One will then realize that a vision convicts one. And what I always say is that once you have a vision, it will convict you to act. So in most cases, it is our responsibility when we are bothered by circumstances, we're bothered by conditions, is for us to take a stand to resolve that hurdle, to resolve that problem. And for me, I thought, if I'm going to delegate this responsibility or this conviction that I have, I will have failed my generation. As I have alluded earlier, that each one of us must discover their mission, either to betray it or to fulfill it. So I thought this will be an opportunity for me to fulfill the mission and the conviction that I have. And that's why I had to take a stand and say, if not me, then who? And if I don't do it, then who will? So that's why I decided to stand up and go and say, I will establish a foundation that will resolve these challenges that these young people are facing. And for me, it brought fulfillment within me to know that I am actually solving a problem, because I believe that each one of us are born with a solution to solve a particular problem.
Wow, that's awesome, man. It lines up exactly with what I was talking about earlier. Again, I repeat, we didn't talk, we didn't even share notes. So tell me, you're from Tzaneen, right?
Yes.
So in Tzaneen, I don't even know how many people are in Tzaneen. Do you think you were the only problem, you were the only person who saw this, where other people in Tzaneen see the same things that you saw with the children, you know, there?
Thank you also. I will say, we might see the same problem, but the question remains, who take a stand to resolve a problem? Yes. Let me just give an example. You moved into a new area where it's still newly developed, and you are given dustbins for you to put all the litters in, or to put all the dirt in. But one particular person decides to litter on the street. One littering might emerge as a dumping site. Yep. So it takes one person to see the problem and to decide to become the solution, while others will watch from the wayside and say, no, we are not the people who have created this problem, so we are not going to be part of the solution. So it takes one person to emerge and say, irrespective of the fact that I am not the creator of the problem, but let me become a solution maker. Let me come with a solution to this problem. So it is incumbent upon ourselves to make sure that when we realize that there are challenges around us, we must be the first people, the trailblazers, the visionaries who are going to arise and say, irrespective of the fact that I am not part of this problem, let me be part of the solution instead.
Wow, awesome, wow. I mean, this is really powerful. So you are saying that you took action, you basically took action, you saw a problem, and then you decided that I am not going to sit still. I'm not able to sleep. That's what I'm thinking about. That's what I'm dreaming about. You know, I'm going to do something about it. I cannot sit still while I see my generation, you know, perishing. Wow, what a powerful thing. So now, how has finding your purpose changed your life? Obviously, you're living your life, and I'm sure you're enjoying yourself. And I'm not saying you're not enjoying yourself now, but I'm just saying that, you know, how has it changed your life? Finding your purpose, how has it transformed your life?
For me, it has actually brought, number one, fulfillment. Number two, also that feeling of making a solution, or feeling of bringing a solution to challenges. Yeah. And also, it makes me to begin to learn a lot about these young people that I work with daily. And one of the things that also the motivation behind it also is to see them going to tertiary, to see them graduating, to see them following their different respective careers, and to meet them on the way. And they say, if it was not of you or the opportunity that you brought to us, I wouldn't have been this far. And for me, that is something that money can't buy. And I always say to people, once you have done something good, don't expect anything in return. One thing that I believe is that even in biblically it says, give to the poor, you are lending to God. So when you are doing that, you're actually saying, Lord, thank you for the life that you've given me. And let me also make my life become meaningful to those who don't have anything to give. So for me, it's just about my life being a life of purpose, my life being a life of giving. So I'm giving my time, I'm giving my resources, I'm giving my skill, I'm giving my talent towards making sure that I leave this world a better place than the way I found it to be.
Powerful, powerful. I think it's so relevant. And if you look at your life now and you look at your life before, would you have it any other way? Do you think you've made the right decision by following your purpose in life?
I have actually made the greatest decision I would have ever thought about. And for me, today, I'm actually fulfilled, and I say I live a purposeful life because I am impacting other people, and through my giving, I'm also realizing that I grow in that. And I believe that what I always say is that if you're not growing, you're actually dying. For me, it's actually making an impact in this life of the young people, and also to say through these things, I am able to realize the talents and the gifting that God has blessed me with. And I do not want to become like one of those three men who were given talents. One decided to go and multiply it to 10, one multiplied it into 4, the other one decided to hide his talent. And when the master returned, he said to them, take that one that is hidden and give to the one that is actually multiplied it more, and cast this one in the lake of fire, because he does not recognize what I have given him as a gift. So for me, it is so fulfilling to know that I am actually doing something with the gifts and the talents that I've been given.
Wow, man, this is so awesome. This is really great. So I know we can go on, but I'm happy that we will do part 3 of this. So I will leave more questions to them. But there are people that have been interacting with the show, Moments of Inspiration, on platforms that we're at, whether it's Zoe live or whether it's YouTube or podcast and or social media. So there's some questions that have come through. There's one particular one, in fact, maybe 2 that I will ask, for now. So someone is asking, and this person wishes to remain anonymous. It says, does your purpose change? Does your purpose change throughout your life? Or is it just one main thing? In other words, does it evolve, or is it one main thing? So what would you say about that?
What I would say about your purpose, it does not necessarily change, but it evolves, it expands, it grows into various parts that form part of one thing. And I believe that as you grow, you begin to attract various things, various resources, various people, and in that some will come as what we call destiny helpers, that will come, or purpose helpers, that will come in making sure that you fulfill that which you are called to do. So it is that premise that says purpose does not only remain stagnant, but it evolves into different multifacets that contributes towards the same thing. So for me, I would say it evolves instead of remaining stagnant.
Wow, that's actually so true. It's actually, interesting, because a lot of people, and I said earlier that a lot of people, they're after money. There's this term these days that is called monetization. So wherever you are, wherever you go, whoever you speak to, I cannot even speak to you for 2 minutes without you asking, for $1,000. But sometimes, it's not about money. It's about you starting and doing what is in your heart. And as you do that, you find that somehow the universe or God, because I believe in God, has a way of coming through for you and providing you with resources. And resources, I mean money, I mean people that will, and money that will work alongside you to be able to fulfill your purpose. And I mean, your dream, Victor, it's a big dream. How have people come in and helped, to really fulfill this dream that we have?
Thank you very much. First and foremost, for every vision, there is a provision. And the provision, therefore, does not only mean monetary value, it means resources, it means prayers, it means people, it means a lot of things. It means those ones who are motivators on the byways and or sideways of life, those who just say, keep on, keeping on. And you need them. And I believe that that provision comes in different ways. Others will say, I'll come and contribute 20 rand. Some will say, I'll put 2 rand. Some will say, I'll put 2,000. Some will say, I'll put 1 million. Some will say, I'll put 200,000. It comes with various aspects. And for me, I'll say one thing that keeps me going a lot is those words of encouragement, because they fuel your destiny, they fuel your passion, they fuel your purpose. Because when somebody comes and say, we recognize you, we see what you're doing, we are behind you, that on its own is the currency that I need to keep on keeping on. And I believe that, I always say to people, start the project. Do not wait for funding yet. Funding will find you on the way. And that's why I always say to people, I am driven by passion and I'm fueled by purpose. So you need to have something that is fueling you. You need to have something that is propelling you to move forward, to move on, and to keep on keeping on. And once you do that, resources will find their way to you.
Wow. You heard it here. Well, our viewers and listeners from Civic, encourage us, comment, talk to us, like, watch. These things encourage us and they help us even here on moments of inspiration. So, and one of the people that, was watching last week and was encouraging us and was engaging with us, it's Sandra Olesa. And she actually asked a question, and I also want to acknowledge Mr. Rufus Sibanyoni. What an encourager, what a man with a good heart who, when he sees a good thing, he always, encourages you. Thank you, Mr. Rufus. So Sandra Olesa asked this question. It says that, I spoke as a Vic and I said that purpose is you and you are purpose. So in other words, it just manifests out of you because that's who you are. And she says that other people are mean, and it's being mean can manifesting meanness or negative emotions that are manifesting on people. Can that be part of purpose? Can someone have a purpose of being mean to people?
I believe that people who are mean to others, it is because of one thing. They are seeing them living the life that they should have lived, or living the life that they are living, and which actually says to them, you are supposed to be living this life, but because you did not decide to take action, when other people are acting on their vision or on their purpose, you become jealous or you become bitter. And I always say to people, bitterness has never produced good fruit. A bitter tree will never produce a sweet fruit. So it is not entirely a purpose, but it is a character that is born out of rejection, that is born out of dejection, that is born out of lack of implementation. Because most of the time, everyone else will have a dream. And you say, no, I want to see, want to do, 1, 2, 3. And when you see someone fulfilling it, you become dejected and you become, so disturbed in such a way that you become bitter. then you'll want to demonstrate your bitterness. You want to ooze your bitterness into meanness, so that those people can stop doing what they are currently doing. So that you want them actually to stop doing that which they are born to do. So it is not much of a purpose, because such people can have a turnaround around their lives. If somebody comes and point out to say, actually, go back to the drawing board, go back to where you've lost it, go back to the original of originals, you will find your purpose. Then such a person will actually discard that bitterness, or will discard that meanness into finding their own purpose.
Wow, this is really awesome. So, you know, I've said before, you life and death, you know, and then you're given a clue, and that verse says, choose life. So for every negative emotion, for every positive emotion, there is a negative emotion. So what you're saying is that instead of those people manifesting the positive emotion that goes along with manifesting your purpose and fulfilling your purpose, they're actually operating in the negative emotion. They've become bitter, and then that creates those negative emotions because they are not living a life of purpose, and they're not doing what they are supposed to do. Well, thank you so much, Sevik. I think let's stop here today. Next week, let's talk more about purpose. This thing is so multifaceted. Next week, I want to challenge you. If you've got your books handy with you, just come and show us the books that you've written. And I want to ask you something about a book, you know, around purpose that you can recommend for people to read. So maybe come with your books, and then let's see. I will give you time to also tell us a little bit more about, you know, the books that you have authored. But thank you so much. You know, keep on tuning in. Victor, quickly, just tell us, how can people find you on social media? Like, are you on Facebook?
Yeah, people can find me on Facebook as Victor Sukuluhane Seshoka, and also on my page, say Victor Sukuluhane Seshoka, the wordsmith. On Twitter, they can find me at Victor Seshoka. On Instagram, it's at Sukuluhane. That's where they can find me in those platforms, and so that we can continue to engage on.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Victor, for joining us. And you have been watching Moments of Inspiration. Signing out. God bless. See you next week.